G'day, Phil Badura here from ActionCOACH Business Steps. Let me ask you a direct question. Are you working hard? Your team is busy, the phone's ringing, jobs are being completed, invoices are going out, but when you look at the bank account, there's just not enough left. That's one of the most frustrating places a business owner can be, because from the outside, the business looks successful. The team is moving, customers are buying, and there's activity everywhere. But beneath the surface, the margins are thin, the cash flow is tight, and the owner is carrying the pressure. And here's the truth I want to unpack today. A business can be busy and still broke. It can be growing and still be unprofitable. It can have good people, good customers, and good products, and still leak profit every single week. Today we're digging into profit improvement strategies, how business builders move from the margins to healthy profits by knowing their numbers, implementing profit generating strategies, and developing the mindset to lead change. Because profit doesn't happen by accident. Profit is designed, it is measured, and it is managed. And most importantly, profit is improved when the business owner stops guessing and starts leading with clarity. So, if you're feeling that you're working too hard for too little return, this message is for you. The real problem with thin margins is when I talk with business owners, one of the first things I often hear is, Phil, we just need more sales. Now, more sales can help, but more sales are not always the answer. In fact, more sales can sometimes make the problem worse if the business is not profitable at the core. If your pricing is wrong, more sales means more underpriced work. Let me say that one again. If your pricing is wrong, more sales mean more underpriced work. If your team is inefficient, more sales means more pressure on already stretched people. If your costs are not controlled, more sales means more money flowing out the door. If your systems are weak, more sales can create more rework, more mistakes, and more customer frustration. That's why we must be careful not to confuse revenue growth with profit improvement. Revenue is what comes in. Profit is what stays. And a successful business owner must learn to manage both. Thin margins are often caused by a few common issues. Pricing that hasn't kept up with costs. Jobs being quoted too cheaply. Wages increasing faster than productivity. Stock, materials or subcontractor costs keep creeping up. Discounting without understanding the real impact. Too much owner time being used to fix errors. And lastly, no clear tracking of gross margin, net profit or cash flow. And here's the tough part. Most owners don't have a profit problem because they don't care. They have a profit problem because they're too busy fighting fires to stop, look at the numbers and fix the system. One of the biggest traits a business owner must adopt is this. You must know your numbers. Without knowing your numbers, you're not going to be making the right decisions. Now, not once a year when the accountant gives you the financials, not when the BAS is due, not when the bank account feels tight. You need to know the numbers that drive daily, weekly and monthly performance. Because what you measure, you master. And If you're not measuring your margins, you're not managing your profit. A business builder should be looking at numbers like this: revenue, gross profit, gross margin percentage, net profit, labour productivity, average sale value, your conversion rate, customer retention, debtor days, cash flow forecast, job profitability, cost of goods sold, your wage percentage compared to revenue, marketing cost per lead, and then profit per customer, per job, or per service line. Now, some owners hear that and think, Phil, I'm not a numbers person. My response is simple. You don't need to become an accountant, but you do need to become a business owner who understands the scoreboard. Imagine coaching a footy team and never looking at the score. Imagine training for a race and never checking your time. Imagine flying a plane and ignoring the instruments. That's what it's like running a business without knowing your numbers. The numbers tell you where the business is leaking. They tell you where the opportunities are, and they'll tell you what needs attention. They'll also tell you whether your strategy is working or not. And when you know your numbers, you stop making emotional decisions and start making the right commercial decisions. Let me give you a practical example. I've worked with a trade-based business where the owner was flat out. The team was busy, the jobs were booked, and the revenue looked good, but the profit wasn't there. When they started digging into the numbers, we found the issue wasn't sales, it was job profitability. Some jobs were profitable, some were barely breaking even, some were actually costing the business money. The owner had been quoting based on what they thought the market would accept, not based on the true cost of labour, materials, travel, admin time, and more importantly, the overhead recovery. So we worked out a few key steps. First, we identified the real cost of delivering each type of job. Second, we separated profitable jobs from low margin work. And then third, we adjusted quoting templates so that the team had a consistent pricing structure. Fourth, we reviewed how much rework was being caused by unclear handovers. Fifth, we manage margin by job, not just total sales. The result? The owner started seeing the business differently. Instead of chasing every job, they started chasing the right jobs. Instead of saying yes to work that looked good on the calendar, they began asking, does this job actually make money? Now, that's a major shift because a growth-minded business owner doesn't just want to be busy. They want to build a commercial, profitable enterprise. At Action Coach, we often use the 5 ways formula because it helps business owners see that profit improvement doesn't come from one magic bullet. It comes from small, strategic improvements right across the business. The five key levers are number of leads, conversion rate, number of transactions, or how many times a customer buys from you, and the average dollar sale, and then finally, profit margin. Now, here's where business owners often get stuck. They focus too heavily on leads. More inquiries, more marketing, more sales activity. But if the conversion rate is poor, leads are wasted. If average dollar sale is low, you're leaving money on the table. If customers only buy once, you're constantly chasing new business. If margins are thin, more sales won't solve the pressure. So when we talk about profit improvement, we need to look across the entire business. Could you improve your conversion process? Could you follow up quotes faster? Could you introduce better packages or bundles? Could you increase prices strategically? Could you even reduce discounting? Could you improve your customer retention? Could you upsell or cross-sell ethically? Could you remove unprofitable services? Could you improve productivity, reduce rework, even get paid faster? These are the questions that you need to be asking yourself of the business. Profit improvement is not always about doing more. Often it's about doing the right things better. And that brings us to attention, focus, and energy. A business owner only has so much time, attention, focus, and energy. If you spend all of it working in the business will never improve. If your attention is constantly pulled into urgent problems, you won't have the mental space to identify the real issues. If your focus is scattered across too many priorities, nothing gets completed properly. If your energy is being drained by team confusion, poor systems, customer complaints, and cash flow stress, you'll find yourself exhausted before you even get to the strategic work. So here's the discipline. A successful business owner must regularly ask these questions. 1. Where should my attention be going? 2. What should I be focusing on this week? 3. Where is my energy creating the greatest return? 4. What am I doing that someone else should own? 5. What problem keeps repeating? Because we haven't fixed the system. And then 6. Which numbers need my leadership right now? For profit improvement, your attention should go to the numbers that reveal the truth. Your focus should go to the few strategies that will make the biggest difference. And your energy should go into implementation, accountability, and rhythm. Because ideas don't improve profit. Implemented ideas improve profit. A pricing review sitting in your notebook doesn't improve profit. A new quoting system that your team actually uses improves the profit. A cash flow plan you talk about once doesn't improve profit, whereas a weekly cash flow meeting does improve profit. A growth mindset doesn't mean positive thinking alone. It means believing the business can improve and then doing the disciplined work required to improve it. Here's another example. A manufacturing business owner I worked with was frustrated because turnover had increased, but profit had not moved the way that they had expected. It's a painful place to be. You're selling more, the team is busier, the workload has increased, but the financial reward hasn't followed. When we looked at the numbers, we found 3 key issues. First, production bottlenecks were causing overtime. Second, certain product lines had much weaker margins than expected. And third, the team didn't have clear visibility on the daily production targets that connected to profit. So we worked on the business, not just in it. We reviewed product profitability, identified where labour hours were being lost, and we created simple daily production measures. We improved communication between sales, admin, and production. We helped the owner step out of constant firefighting and into weekly leadership rhythm. The breakthrough was not just financial. The owner started thinking differently. Instead of saying, "My team just needs to work harder," they started saying, "What system do we need so the team can perform better?" That's leadership. Because in a growing business, systems create consistency and people create the results. When the system is unclear, good people waste energy. When the numbers are unclear, good owners make guesses. When profit is unclear, the business becomes stressful. And when the numbers, system, and people align, the business starts to gain control. So they're moving from the chaos now into control. Let's get practical. If you want to improve profit, there are several strategies worth reviewing. Number one, review your pricing. Many owners avoid pricing because they're afraid customers will leave. But if your costs have increased and your prices haven't, your margin is being squeezed. You don't need to be reckless, you need to be strategic. Review pricing by product, service, job type, and customer segment. Start with the areas where you deliver the most value or where margin is already low. Number two, measure gross margin weekly. Your gross margin tells you whether the work you're doing is actually profitable before overheads. If the number is weak, the business is under pressure before the month even starts. Number three, stop discounting without a reason. Discounting can feel like a quick way to win work, but it can also destroy profit. If your net profit is 10% and you discount by 10%, you may just have wiped out the profit on that sale. Number four is improve conversion. A better sales process can implement profit without increasing marketing spend. Following up faster, asking better questions, present value clearly, and train your team to sell outcomes, not just price. Number five is increase your average dollar sale. Can you package services better? Can you offer a maintenance plan? Can you add value bundles? Can you create premium options? Number six is improve retention. Keeping a good customer is usually easier than replacing one. Build a follow-up system, check in after delivery, and create a customer success rhythm. Number seven is reduce rework and wastage. Rework is profit walking out the door. Every mistake, delay, or unclear instruction costs time, energy, and money. One of the managers I used to work for had this philosophy, and it stayed with me, is handle it once, you'll make money. Handle it twice, you'll break even. Handle it 3 times, you're going to destroy any profit that was available. Number 8, get paid faster. Profit on paper does not help if the cash is sitting in someone else's bank account. Review payment terms, deposits, progress claims, and then debtor follow-up. Number 9 is track productivity. Revenue per labour hour, jobs completed per week, output per team member. These numbers help you understand whether the business is becoming more efficient. Finally, number 10, create accountability rhythm. Every profit strategy needs ownership, deadlines, and review. Otherwise, it becomes another good idea that never changes the business. So let me bring this home. If your margins are thin, don't beat yourself up, but don't ignore it either. Profit improvement starts when the owner decides to stop guessing and start leading. Know your numbers. Understand your margins. Identify the leaks. Choose the right strategies. Apply your attention, focus, and energy to the activities that create measurable change. Build the systems, lead the team, and review the results. And most importantly, adopt the mindset of a business builder. A fixed mindset says, this is just the way it is. A growth mindset says, there's a better way and I'm willing to find it. What's the mindset that you will choose? That's the difference between staying stuck in thin margins and building healthy, sustainable profit. At ActionCOACH Business Steps, this is the work we do with business owners every day. We help you step back, see the gaps, fix the chaos, and then take back control. Because business should give you more than stress. It should give you profit, time, choice, and freedom. So if you're ready to understand your numbers, improve your margins, and build a business that rewards the effort that you're putting in, let's have a conversation. Book a strategy session with me now. Let's turn your business dreams into reality. Take action, get results.